boxes, and since then the gears no longer hooked to the tables, so, and became cumbersome for students, so then they started stealing the gears out of there, and so they just removed all of those and didn't give them to the students. And over the years, there's 2 arms, 4 arms, and they never make it back in. Huh?
What do they do with those?
I have no idea.
It was slanging arms.
Is there a black market out there for those arms? But they got all
It was
mixed
slanging
up,
them.
and people would put them into different boxes, and then some of them I'd see them all over the place, and just like yours, or I always say extra arm. Who last night or in the afternoon class didn't put that arm back in the machine? Yeah, that's how it goes. So this is what you're left with. But do check them if you want to. Check them online. It's a very nice machine. I have them, the real ones, because they don't do this at Santa Monica. I have 6 really good ones that come with everything.
You have
in
6?
6 machines, yeah, and 14 people. So if you think you have trouble sharing, they have even more trouble sharing over there. Yeah, with only
Where?
6 machines. Santa Monica. Yeah. So on that note, if you are interested in doing this at home as we go into the last 4 weeks of class, this is called a little hand ruler, okay? And the way it sets up is you are limited, though, on what you can grade on this. You can't do multiple pieces at the same time. You can only do 1 piece at a time. So it's very primitive, which is why you have these machines. But it is possible to do 1 piece at a time on this, okay? Except for pants. You can't do pants, and you can't do the you can do the kimono on this one, but you can't do pants on this.
Why can't you do pants?
Huh? Because it doesn't, because the grain line is in the middle of the pattern, and then you have the rye sticking out towards you. And this machine has very limited capabilities as to where it can be placed, because you don't want it on top of the pattern, because then it's not movable anymore. So on that note, pants don't work on this. So what happens with the little grading machine? This is what it looks like. First of all, you can get these at FITM for $5. Just go into the bookstore, right in the rotunda when you walk in, and you can get them for $5. Okay, so in case you want to purchase them. But for your knowledge, FITM is closed now until October 8th. Yes, we're out for the semester.
Okay, that's cool.
But you could get it. Okay.
They don't have it here at the London?
You don't have these here at the bookstore. That's unfortunately.
Any techniques to upgrade?
Yes.
What about others, like
Um,
supply stores?
Other supply stores, I would call first and ask them if they have a
Just
hand
ask for a
grading,
grading scheme.
a hand grading roller. Yes, let's see if they have it. You could possibly get them online too, I'm sure. Okay, so this is how it works. The first thing you have to do is tape the little ruler down, and be sure you can lift it so it becomes movable. Okay. On the paper underneath, you have to have a length grain line, and you have to have a cross grain line on the paper, because on your little machine, can you guys see this? You have a cross grain which represents 0, and you have a length grain arrow that represents 0. Okay. And then on the sides here, this is set up just like your little machine. You have a 1/16, an 1/8, a 1/16, a 1/4, and then going the opposite direction down, just up and down on your machine, you have the same measurements. This is the going across. When you move this direction with your big knob, that's going to be these. This is going to be your length grade. So starting from 0 in each direction, top and bottom, this is length grain, this is cross. Okay? So once you paste it down, you then line up the pattern, okay, on the length grain, your cross grain line, and because this will be your up and down, this will be your in and out. The middle line is where your center front has to go. That becomes your 0, 0 point. Okay? So let's grade this. So step number 1, if you were grading this, you lift the machine. You need push pins to hold this down. Okay. Going to mark the center front, center back. This is a back piece. 1/2 inch of the neckline. Okay, that would be step number 1. Okay. Step number 2, okay, we're going to take the push pins out. and it looks like this. Now your hands become the hands of the machine. Okay? So watching the sides, we are moving out a 16th, keeping my cross grain in line. Okay, got to set that. And I'm looking on the sides here for the 16th, and then I'm going to move up a 16th, which goes putting your cross grain line on the 16th. Make sure it lines up evenly all the way down. Put the push pins back in. It's Friday. And then you mark step 2, the neckline, shoulder intersection. Okay. Then step 3, you take away your push pins. Okay, so from where you are now, we are moving out how much? 1/8 of an inch. 1/16, 2/16, right here, 1/8 of an inch. So make sure it lines up. Make sure your cross grain is the same, and then you are moving down back to 0. So you need both lines. Put your push pins back in. Okay. Whoops. Back in there. And then you mark the shoulder side seam intersection. Shoulder armhole intersection. Step 3. Okay. One more. What's step 4?
Out 3/16.
No.
Down.
Before that. Step 4. Down,
Finish.
down,
1/8.
down 1/8. So you make sure this cross grain line lines up on the 1/8 of an inch all the way down. Make sure you are still 3/16 out on both sides. Okay. 16 out. And then push pin. Okay. Mark the middle of the armhole. Okay. And then you continue. So when you lift it, it looks just like your pattern on the machine. And then you just blend it.
Is it as accurate? No, huh?
It's as accurate as you are.